Casper the Ghost, or that very distinctive one called Yogi, which of course looks like a bear. The scientists and engineers who designed the Pathfinder and the rover Sojourner are having more than a little fun getting acquainted with the Martian landscape, so they are naming the rocks, and why not? They built a space vehicle that can turn on a dime 119 million miles away. One of our Mars watchers, John Zarrella, joins us now live from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena. John, what other surprises is the red planet providing? Lots of them.
Quite a few surprises for the science community out here and for the mission specialists here. Some of the interesting things that came out today, facts that they are pretty confident now of at least one and maybe more of these torrential floods that race through that valley where the spacecraft is right now. Evidence by looking, the geologists, simply by looking at the way the rocks are lying, indicating the flow of these floods through that valley. And there may have been more than one flood. It may have been 2 or 3, many billions of years ago. And of course, if you have water, that's one of the ingredients, or the prime ingredient you need for life. So perhaps sometime in the distant past, there may have been life in this very valley where Sojourner is ambling around and the lander is sending back these incredible pictures. But today, science took the center stage. History will remember a little rover that could, and rocks with cartoon character names.
That our rover has nestled up and kissed affectionately Barnacle Bill. We've decided that we're going to keep all the names light and airy and sort of in a sort of a nice way. Something about the rock that sort of reminds you of it. No naming people, no formal names.
Monday, there were new pictures. Sojourner snuggling up close to Barnacle Bill, and a picture of the lander taken from the rover.
This is the first time that 2 spacecraft have ever taken a picture of each other, 2 robotic spacecraft, so this is really a first.
Sojourner is taking center stage. A panoramic image shows where the rover will drive off to next. First, a stop to play in the sand. By stirring up the soil with its wheels, geologists will get a look at the dirt below the surface. The rover's next rock target is named Yogi.
We'll turn the rover and drive towards Yogi, and at the end of the day, we'll take a full stereo from the rover eye, nice up and close. That's the way geologists want to look at it, nice up and close, and see what we can see in that morphology.
The scientists are having a field day with more images and data than they ever expected, and a landing site described as the perfect grab bag. The angles the rocks are facing is providing mounting evidence of the direction in which one or perhaps several catastrophic floods swept through this region eons ago. So far, the easiest job has been left to the meteorologists, at least as far as predicting Mars weather.
This forecast is based on a sophisticated technique widely used on the Earth, which is to say that the weather today is exactly the same as the weather yesterday.
The high Monday on Mars, 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The low, minus 105. Well, our resident favorite Martian expert is with us again this evening. Donna, Shirley, the head of the Mars Exploration Program here at the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. And Donna, I know that you've gotten some spectacular images, and the science team is really excited about everything they are getting. And a while ago, a couple hours back, a downlink came down with some new images, and we thought it would be good if you would explain to the viewers how the picture is constructed and what we see when we see it. You see in one corner we see the image, and then some other data in the bottom corner.
Right. Well, that's what those are is just the individual frames. In the top left corner you see an individual frame, and these are taken in a systematic way, like ratcheting across from left to right, for instance. But when they get stored in the computer, they're stored in such a way that they come back kind of randomly. And you can tell which way they're coming, which way the camera is looking for that picture, because in the middle circle there's the 3 petals of the lander are represented, and you can see a kind of a stripe, a dark stripe across there. So right now this is northeast is the direction that was taken. It's just moved a little around to the left, and as that thing clocks around, and the thing on the complete right is the elevation. So right now the camera is looking down because that's where that dark stripe is. These are sent back as just digital data to the the Multi-Mission Image Processing Laboratory, affectionately known as MIPL. And MIPL has these very fast computers and very sophisticated algorithms. It forms these things together into a mosaic. And so instead of a bunch of random pictures, we end up with a whole picture. Then they have to really do some sophisticated programming to make the edges match up, because each of these frames is not perfectly square.
One of the things that the viewers may or may not know is out of some of these images here that we're coming down today and that you've been getting is how the team is putting together what they're calling their monster pan.
Right. Pan is short for panorama, and monster just means it's a complete panorama and it's in all the colors. And it's not very compressed. You know, with compression you throw away some of the data, like the black stuff, you know, the stuff in space. If you see a planet, you throw away the black stuff because that's all space and it's not going to change. And you just send back the stuff that's changing. Well, when you do that, you get most of the data, almost all the data, but you lose some, and it takes a lot of processing to get it all out. So what they're doing is processing the data, and they're going to make it into a full color mosaic of the whole thing.
And I understand, if you can tell us real quickly, that you could actually, when they finally get it together, walk through this as if you were walking on the Martian landscape, and that's what people on the websites and places will be able to do.
Yeah, a virtual roaming around, or looking around Mars.
That's going to be fabulous. We may get some of that tomorrow, maybe not the whole pan, but the scientists are tantalizing and whetting our appetites, Joey, telling us that by tomorrow, at least some of that monster pan is going to be ready, and they say it is spectacular. So stay tuned. The wonderful sights from Mars continue to flow, and more of the science will be coming in tomorrow. Information about the soil composition and probably Barnacle Bill. We'll just see, as one of the scientists said, we'll see what kind of a man Barnacle Bill is tomorrow.
And we'll see what he's made of. John, thanks very much.
Yes.
John Zarrella out in Pasadena again for us this evening. And as John noted, there's another NASA briefing coming up tomorrow on the Pathfinder mission. That'll be at 3 o'clock Eastern.